Channel 3 is your back to school authority, and today we're talking about plans for the return to school in Region 7, which covers the towns of Barkhamsted, Colebrook, New Hartford, and Norfolk. Judith Palmer is the superintendent there, and she is joining us. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Kara. Thanks for having me.
Can you feel it? School starts on Monday, August 30th. I just did some school supply shopping yesterday. How are you feeling, and what are you most excited about?
Well, we're feeling very well prepared. It's a different feeling this year to start off the school year compared to last year. I think we're in a really, really good place. We are so excited to welcome our students back. Once the kids get here, it is a whole different feel. And, we love our kids, so we can't wait for that moment.
And really love, kindness. This is something that you want to talk about. We've had so many restrictions and regulations, but you think the social emotional component is going to be really important this year?
I do, Kara. Every superintendent, all school leaders, teachers, we're all very concerned about health and safety of our students, and that is certainly a top priority. But, building strong relationships and putting goodness out into the world is something that we value here in Region 7. And we have a very special program called Kindness in Motion. Actually, I was watching CBS Sunday Morning with Charles Osgood about 6 years ago, and there was a segment on there about a man named Chris Rosati who had ALS, and he was suffering with the effects of that. But he was also pondering this idea that, can the butterfly effect be applied to kindness? So if one kind act is done in one part of the world, would it be felt in another? And would that come back to you? And so as he was leaving a restaurant one day, he gave two girls that he didn't know each a $50 bill. And he said, go do something kind with this money. And they donated the money to Doctors Without Borders. And they ended up giving enough money to a village that was suffering from the effects of Ebola to have a feast. And the doctor took a picture of the people in the village and held up a sign that said, "Thank you, Chris Rosati." And they emailed that back to him. And so it was proven, yes, the ripple effect can be applied to kindness.
Absolutely.
So I took this idea. Yeah, I couldn't get it out of my mind. So I brought the idea back to my administrative team and I said, what could our kids do with intention if they were offered a mini grant and told, go do something kind with this money? And so Kindness in Motion was born 6 years ago, and we've had hundreds and hundreds of students and families apply for these little mini grants that are privately funded, and with their passion and with their empathy, go out into the world and do something kind for others. And we've been running this program. It's been highly successful. We even ran it through COVID, and it was amazing what the students and our teachers were able to do with these mini grants, considering that they were restricted with, what they could do because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. I wonder if other schools could replicate it. What a great idea. I do, while we have you, just want to get a little bit to the nitty gritty. I know the governor's order said that teachers need to be vaccinated, at least one dose, by September 27th. I wanted to ask you how that's being received by your staff, and also how quarantines might be different this year or non-existent because of vaccination.
Right. So the vaccination order, I think it has been fairly well received here. We have a very high vaccination rate among our staff, which I think, is great. Vaccinations for students, as far as quarantine goes, they won't have to quarantine if they're a close contact, as long as they're asymptomatic, meaning that they're not showing any signs of COVID. There will be no need to quarantine. So that's good. And here, because our grade levels are 7 to 12, we have many eligible students. And I know many have taken advantage of getting the vaccine.
And that will allow you to do some more normal things. I know you want to spread kindness. One way to do that, there are going to be regular fall sports and kids sitting around cafeteria tables again. Parents can even have in-person meetings. Is that correct?
That is correct. And we will give an option. Some parents like the virtual because, it takes less time. We have very busy parents. They can just step out of their office or whatever they're doing, log into a meeting, and that's been actually a positive.
That's great. I love it. But nice.
I know you do. I would too.
Nice to know we could come into school if we wanted to. But Judith Palmer, Superintendent of Region 7 Public Schools, we wish you all the best of luck as you start school on August 30th. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kara.